basically, a few people in the group are asking like what the best way to structure the campaigns is for the testing and how to do it. So basically, it's pretty simple how to do it. So first of all, whenever you're testing ad sets, you should be only testing one interest per ad set, okay? So if you want to test more audiences, you need to test them in separate ad sets. As far as testing creatives, I would suggest testing about 4 to 5 creatives within one ad set at a time. And how it works is that once you load up these 4 or 5 creatives, that's sort of like your permanent test for that ad set. So either, none of them are going to work and you're going to have to kill the entire ad set, or maybe 1 out of the 4 or 5 creatives is good and you can keep that one and delete or turn off all the other ones. But essentially that's how you structure it. So let's say that you're launching a brand new campaign that you've never run before. How you would do it is you would make one ad set that has an interest closely related to your offer and, or a lookalike audience if your advertiser gave you one, or the network or whatever. And then what you should do is come up with 4 or 5 different creatives that just have one headline across all those creatives, okay? Then what you should do is duplicate that whole set of 4 or 5 creatives with the same interests into a second ad set and test a second headline for those 4 or 5 creatives, okay? So what we're doing is we're gonna be able to find which image or video creative is the best out of the 4 or 5, and we're going to be able to choose which headline is best out of the 2 different headlines that we tested. And remember, each ad set has a dedicated headline related to that set of creatives. So this would basically be our first round of testing. And I would let this run for like 3 or 5 days. And then I would basically monitor the results. So I would say, okay, did the headline in ad set 1 do better, or was it the headline in ad set 2? If ad set 2 was a better headline, I would completely cut ad set 1. Then within ad set 2, which image did better? I would pick the image or video creative that did better, and I would cut everything else. And basically what I would be left with then would be maybe an ad set that had 1 interest with 1 headline and 1 winning creative. Then what I would do is I would then go do another round of testing where maybe I come up with a completely different headline and 4 or 5 other images to cross-test, okay? And then I would go through the same process of letting that run for 3 to 5 days, and I would kill off everything that was bad. And if the winner of that wasn't better than the winner of the first round, then I would just kill it and I would come up with another round of testing. So this is basically how you structure the tests and how you move through different phases of testing. So if nothing's good at first, like you might have to just kill off everything that you're testing and just launch completely new tests. Or if you find something that's pretty good, basically at that point what you're looking to do is beat your control or find other options that are winners too to run alongside the winner, okay? Now, if you're testing with ad set budgets or CBO, the only difference is how the budget gets allocated to the ad set. So if you have ad set budgets still in your account, which some accounts do, some accounts don't, then our preferred method is to use the ad set budgets for the testing if they're there, because they spread the budget more evenly. If you set the budget at $25 a day on an ad set, it's actually going to spend that. CBO, it's not ideal for testing because sometimes the budget can really become misallocated and spend a lot more on something and not as much as something else. So if you're forced to use CBO, then basically what you should do is just limit the number of ad sets within the CBO that you're testing. So the issue with testing with CBO campaigns is sometimes the budget gets allocated to too many different things or only to one thing when you're trying to test a bunch of other things. So what I would do is just reduce the number of tests. So maybe limit it to 3 or 4 ad sets total within a CBO campaign. And this will help the budget get spread a little bit more evenly and stuff like that. But if you still have ad set budgets, I suggest you use them. They're not going to be around forever, but they're at least good still to use right now. Okay, so that's essentially how you would structure the test as far as having the one interest per ad set and then having 3 or 4 creatives in an ad set that you test. Always keep in mind that once you find a winning ad set, you never want to add anything to it. So this was something that somebody asked, like if I should be adding ad sets. Not if it's a proven profitable ad set. You do not want to mess with that. So the only instance where you would maybe be adding ad sets is if everything in the ad set failed and you're just uploading an entire new batch of things to test. So that would be the only instance where you would add something to an existing ad set. So hopefully this is helpful, and hopefully this clears the air. The structure for testing is really not as complicated as you would think. It's actually more simplistic. So yeah, hope this is helpful.